today after the morning clouds move away. High today near 78 degrees. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Parker Insurance and Realty on Macon Street in downtown Jessup, by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, B&C Collision Center in Scriven, and by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. And good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, no, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say. 24-3 lead, and we blow it and lose our running back, and it's just a sad day in Dog Nation this Monday morning.
Just bad. Just not.
I can't believe we let them score 38 points. What were we thinking? Where's our defense, Bob? Where's the defense? You watched the game. What happened? We were out-coached, outplayed, what?
Can't tackle.
Can't tackle?
I just haven't seen anything like it. I mean, we just can't tackle. I mean, they throw a little pass out in the flat. There's three defenders there, and he runs right through them. I mean, I don't understand what's happened to the tackling in Georgia. I mean, well, then, it was the same thing last year. I mean, can't tackle.
And I thought we had this super-duper defensive coordinator come in that was all fired up, was going to make us the junkyard dogs once again.
You get their top recruiting class every year, and you get these star athletes, and they just can't tackle. But Chubb going down the first play of the game didn't help. Yeah, that's just an awful situation.
But we're still 24-3 all time with them out. So
then you drop a wide open touchdown pass.
Wide open.
Threw it right on the money.
I mean, Grayson laid it right there, and he just butterfingered and fumble-fingered it away. Oh, let me tell you, but they just need Coach Mappery to come back and go out there and teach them how to tackle. Wrap your arms around them, boy. You know, put your shoulder into it. Yeah.
I don't know, if I'm telling you, if you go through that tape and count the number of missed tackles in that Georgia defense, there's a pile of them. I mean, I don't know what they're doing, but they don't tackle. No. They don't wrap up.
Yeah. Are they trying to knock the ball away or something? You know, you got a lot of these defenders these days say, I want to knock that ball away because I want to get myself turnover. Instead of wrapping your arms around them. And I don't know. That's a game that Georgia needed to win, should have won, and was on the path to win, and just blew it. Blew it. That's a very disappointing loss.
And they let Bryce Ramsey punt. Because the punter they got up there is just awful.
Okay. He's terrible. He's the punter for Georgia.
I mean, you got to tell me University of Georgia can't find a kid that can't punt more than 30 yards.
You got to be able to. We got high school kids that we can see.
I mean, it's just
get further than that.
Hold auditions for Pete's sake. The guy's awful.
Terrible. Terrible.
Just I don't understand it.
I don't understand. Well, we got Missouri at home this weekend, right?
Missouri at home, but like I said, the season's pretty much, as far as the goals in the beginning of the year, it's just pretty much gone. You're not going to the SEC championship game. You're not in the national title discussion anymore. The season's pretty much a wash.
Yeah,
a bunch of gloom and doom, and of course all the Mark Rick haters come out of the woodwork, and that's all you hear about.
Yeah.
It's just if you're a Georgia diehard fan, you're just frustrated because every year you get high hopes.
You get all these high hopes.
And every year you just get let down.
Get it just squished.
But there's no excuse to lose a 24-3 lead.
No, there's not. There's not at all.
I mean, that's just there's no excuse for it.
Well, we got Missouri at home this coming weekend, and then we have the following week off as we get ready for the Florida Gators, a team that is surprising everybody this year, right, Bob?
Yeah, they're having a great year, undefeated, playing well. Yeah, their defense continues to play lights out. That's what's keeping them into a lot of games. Their defense is playing extremely well.
So. What did they move up to this week? You remember on the
I haven't
rating?
Looked at the polls yet.
I haven't looked at the polls either.
I knew Georgia got knocked out of the polls, so I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, they should have got knocked all out.
I watched a lot of golf this weekend.
You did? You watched golf, huh?
The President's Cup.
How did that go?
The USA won.
USA
15.5 to 14.5. It's a great story. Jay Haas caught all kinds of slack for picking his son on the team. His son was in the last group in individual play and won the final point to let the USA win it. So it was a great story. It's a good event.
That is a good story.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun to watch. But I watched a lot of golf as I got depressed Saturday after we lost to Tennessee. So a 24-3 lead.
Yeah, that hurts. I mean, that hurts. All right, here they are, Bob, the top 10. Here we go. Top 10, Ohio State, Baylor, TCU, Utah, Clemson, LSU, Michigan State, Florida, Texas A&M, and Alabama.
Sounds about right.
No SEC team in the top 5.
That's all right. It's early.
Yeah, no SEC. You got 6 LSU. LSU having a good year this year with that hoss of a running back they have there. And Florida, as we mentioned, doing a lot better than everybody thought. They're 6-0. Alabama 5-1. And Clemson, I'm not sure if they're surprising anybody or not this year. I knew they were going to have a good year, but, they're 5-0. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes.
They only have one tough game left on the schedule. That's Florida State.
Florida State.
If they get by Florida State, they should be pretty much undefeated. Hopefully, get in that championship round. So.
Yeah, they'll be playing in that championship round. Hopefully, there's some teams from the South in there, and South Carolina's this Spurrier's last year. I mean, this has got to be one of the worst seasons I think that he'll ever have after all the success he had.
Everybody keeps saying this is last year, but I hadn't heard him say that, so I think it's up to him. I think he's got a decision to make at the end of the season, but the talent level just doesn't seem to be where it's at in South Carolina as it has been previous years. So y'all both, I didn't realize he was 70 years old too.
Yeah, he's 70 though. You get that age, and even me at 61, I don't have the spring in my step I used to. And so. It's my time for him to hang up the old cleats and the visor and let somebody younger and get in there and do their thing.
It's hard to walk away from $5 million a year job.
Well, I'm sure that is, Bob.
That's the thing. And all these people wanting to fire, there's about a $6 million buyout clause on most of these coaches too. So, it's not like you just, someone's going to have to write a big check if you want to get rid of people. So.
Okay. Well, we did the top 10. Let's go down to the top 25 here. Okay, number 11, Florida State. Florida State 5-0. I'm surprised they're not in the top 10. They're 5-0. Michigan, and then Mississippi 13, Notre Dame 14, Stanford, and then Oklahoma State, Iowa 17, UCLA 18, Oklahoma and Northwestern 20, 21 Boise State, then Toledo, California, Houston, and Duke. Who would have thought this time of the year that teams like Duke, Toledo, and Northwestern would be ahead of Georgia?
Duke's got a good team, got a good coach. They win. What's their record?
5-1.
5-1.
5-1.
They beat Tech.
Yeah, they sure did. 5-1, but everybody's beating Tech. So, there's a lot of folks out there. Just imagine what Spurrier could do with Georgia if he had that kind of talent. You hear that. You hear comments like that. But Spurrier, he's 70 years old. He has nothing else to prove. Just put the visor on the wall and go out there and play golf. Have some fun. But it'll be interesting to see. We got so many more games to go. I mean, we're sitting here singing the blues and crying our eyes out on October 10th, but for Georgia. But they still have Missouri, Florida, Kentucky, Auburn, Georgia Southern, and then Georgia Tech. There's still lots of football to be played by.
There's a lot of football, but it's you go in that game with Tennessee, and that Tennessee quarterback's ranked the worst in the SEC.
Yeah,
and he not only runs for 100 yards, but he throws for 300 against you. I mean,
that's terrible.
It's just hard to understand.
It is hard to understand. It really is. It really is. I read the sports commentators report last week, and I did have done it this week from the Atlanta Constitution. He rates the offense, the defense, and all that kind of stuff. And I'd be interested. I'm sure he's got to give like a D- for the defense.
Sonny Michel took the blame after the game because he fumbled that kickoff return, but you can't blame it on him. But that did hurt. I mean, you're up 24-3. You let them score a touchdown and make it 24-10. Then they scored a touchdown right before halftime to get within 7.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just get well, I don't know if we should get off that or not, but it's just a shame that Georgia come into another season ranked high. Everybody's excited about them, and then boom.
It's just be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. Like I said, you still got some big games. Like I said, it'll be fun to go down to Florida. Florida's unbeaten when you play them.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a big rival game, so anything can happen. The talent's definitely there. Sonny Michel and Edwards. So they got talent, but the defense has got to learn to tackle. That's what I saw. That's what I saw the whole game. The quarterback kept on doing that quarterback draw, and we just run over people. We hit him behind the line of scrimmage. Then you got up for a 2-yard loss. Next thing you know, he's 15, 20 yards downfield. So I don't understand the tackling situation. We just don't seem to wrap up and tackle. That's what I see as the big, that and special teams. I've talked about it for years. Why Georgia doesn't have a special teams coach, I can't figure that out.
No, that's too important. That's one
of the biggest
third
universities we're on.
That's 1/3. I mean, you see a lot of coaches like that. They don't put that much emphasis on special teams, and it's not.
Used to be asked about it, and he just says we don't have time for a special teams coach. But
old turkey.
Alabama blocks the punt. On special teams play, our punter can't punt it 30 yards. I mean, special teams is definitely that's the one aspect of the game. There's 3 aspects of the game. There's offense, defense, and special teams. The special teams is an important part, and we just don't seem to emphasize our special teams play whatsoever. So it winds up costing us throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the biggest issue that I saw Saturday was we just don't tackle very well.
Okay.
Dropping a wide open touchdown pass didn't help either, but those things happen. It's just frustrating, but it is what it is. Like I said, a lot of games left. Missouri's a big game. You just want to, look at the season. If we don't play better than what we're playing now, it could be a real ugly season.
Yeah, you have the sports commentator for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution says, reality check, Georgia's just an average team at best.
Hard to disagree right now.
Yeah, that is hard to disagree. That is hard to disagree. All right, well, we got the Falcons. They're undefeated right now, looking good. Your thoughts and feelings on the Falcons? Some people think that they're not as good as a undefeated team should be, but they're still there.
They're undefeated. They're 5-0 first time since I think the 1988. I think they said so. But they got a new coach, new enthusiasm.
Yeah, he's a fireball.
Back. They had to come all the way down the field to score the winning touchdown. They did it. That's the second week in a row they've done that. I like what I see for the Falcons. They've got plenty of talent on offense. They can score with anybody. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. As long as you keep him healthy, you got a chance to win. That's the thing you see in the NFL. When you lose your starting quarterback, your season's over. Look at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
They lost Tony Romo. They can't win.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's the same way. I don't know if Michael Vick can win tonight or not, but if he can't, I don't have a lot of faith in him.
But at least you got an experienced quarterback there. You don't have one of these.
I just don't have a lot of faith.
A lot of faith in Michael. Huh?
He's not Ben or Roethlisberger.
No, Vic's not. Big Ben.
I mean, if you're a fantasy football owner, you got Antonio Brown, you're really frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm keeping hope alive, hope that they can win. But like I said, I think the Steelers are an average team at best as well.
You agree, huh? All right. Well, Georgia Southern had off this weekend. There's a team that's doing good. We are your radio voice for the Georgia Southern Eagles here in Southeast Georgia, 105.5 FM. Georgia Southern had off. They'll be back in action this Saturday. And let's see here. This will be October 17th. So they'll be at home taking on New Mexico. 6 o'clock kickoff there in Paulson Stadium in Statesboro.
Wayne County won. Let's talk about the good news.
Okay, let's go to Wayne County. Wayne County wins a big homecoming game against Windsor Forest, which they projected to win pretty good, and they did. They didn't fall asleep. They didn't let homecoming activities distract them. They went out there and took care of business. So go Jackets!
Big win. Got a weekend off. Reminder again, if you're a touchdown club member, no meeting tonight at Civil. So keep that in mind. Hate to see somebody show up and nobody be there, but that's happened in the past. So, no meeting tonight. Meeting.
No meeting tonight for touchdown club.
Right.
None.
Next Monday.
This is we have off this week, right? We have off, and then we finish up those 2 good games there against Thompson and Burke.
All right.
Okay. So Jackets took care of business, crowned a homecoming queen, had all those activities during the course of the week and during the game and halftime. And so it was just a great week here in Jessup, Wayne County with homecoming. That was a good parade in down there. It's been a few years since I've been to a homecoming parade, and I was really amazed at the large crowd that was down there. And not only large crowd, but they also were there in advance. They were already lining up chairs there on First Street at least an hour before the parade started.
Good crowd, good parade, good pep rally. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the pep rally was fun. All right, so all that went on this past weekend, and had the rodeo in Scriven Friday and Saturday nights. And lots of folks attended that. Popple Farms with their corn maze, and Pumpkin Patch still going strong every weekend during the course of October. We had the Oglethorpe Road Yard Sale with the Fall Festival at Teen Challenge on Saturday. Friday and Saturday, and that was good. A little bit of the rain on Saturday morning kind of dampened everything, but right afternoon, once that front moved on out, it was a great afternoon, all afternoon. Got to see Ralph Hickok dunk several times there in the dunking booth. So they're cleaning up the politicians out there. They're ducking them in the booth. but the thing about it is Ralph was the only one that showed up of the politicians. But Ralph donated his time and his effort and his energies, and of course the sponsorship of the event with Ralph and Jamie Hickox of that big event there at Teen Challenge. They have a beautiful campus out there on Teen Challenge, and the work that they do with those young folks out there to get them prepared for some sort of ministry is after they've gone through rehab, through the Teen Challenge rehab. Once they do that for a few years, then if they want to go into ministry, they come here to Jessup, to the campus here in Teen Challenge, and they train and teach them to go into ministry of some sort. Just a great program Teen Challenge is nationwide.
Good turnout for the J.D. Paul Golf Scholarship this past weekend. Had to endure the rain, but they got through it. So once the rain stopped, it cleared up pretty good. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks to all the golfers showing up for that. A lot of money raised for a good cause. Ronnie Cudd was in town. I got to see him.
Ronnie was here, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Best golfer ever come through Wayne County High School.
What's he doing these days?
Still playing a lot of golf.
All right. Other than on the golf course, is he doing anything else? Where does he live? Douglas. Okay. All right. Sounds good. And anything else? Anything coming up this week, news-wise, meetings, events, anything?
Early voting's underway, starting tomorrow. That's the big story. 3-week process, 2 contested races. So if you're in the city of Jessup in District 1 or District 4, get out and vote. So the election is set for Tuesday, November 3rd.
Okay. Were you surprised that more folks didn't run in the Geneva Nichols position there on the city council? You know, she had been city council person for a long time, and William Harvey, Booker Harvey put his name in there, but no one else did. Usually when you have a new position opening, you'll have more than just one person run for that. But I know that Harvey's very happy about that, but I was just surprised only one person ran.
Yeah, Bill Harvey would have been hard to beat. So.
Yeah, well, that happens a lot of times. You know, you get somebody who's very popular who puts their name in, everybody says, hey, I can't beat him or her, or whatever the case may be. I ain't even gonna try. I ain't gonna waste my time.
Save your money. It takes a lot of money to run.
Yeah, it does. You know,
like I said, a good candidate. Like I said, he put his name out there early. So, you know, that's the thing about a small district like that. People hear who's running, they hear that, oh, that's pretty good. That'll be good.
Yeah, he'll be a good guy. I don't need to run. So, but we only have a couple contested races here in Jessup and none in Odom. And so it's going to be a very light turnout and not many things for folks to vote on when they go into the early voting starting tomorrow and in the voting booth in November. Isn't that right? We were supposed to have a guest today. Micah Kicklighter was supposed to be here from the city to talk about Archfest. She'd set up every single Monday leading up to Archfest to talk about it. But guess what? She's a government employee, and the county government and all have off today. So I'm sure that she's sleeping in or out of town or something like that. I don't know. But being the fact that she has off today, she didn't need to come in today.
Yeah, that's early bonus. Another reason why it has to change. You know, you got 2 contested races in the city of Jessup. And, you know, hardly anybody going to show up for early voting. I mean, it's a waste of taxpayers' money.
Should be 1 weekend. You should have 1 week of it, and then if you're going to be out of town, absentee.
Some of the legislatures got to take this bull by the horn and change this because, you know, cities like Jessup and
a lot of money.
It's just not economically feasible to do 3 weeks of early voting. It's just not economically responsible for cities like Jessup.
At least go down to 2. If you want to compromise, and go down to 2. But
it's just I don't see the need for it. It just seems like a waste of time and money, and somebody's got to change it. But to get it changed, you got to go through the legislature. So write your congressmen and senators and representatives, because I promise you it's going to be a trickle turnout. These 3 weeks early voting.
Trickle and just cost everybody a lot of money.
Not that many votes in those 2 districts.
Right.
But to have 3 weeks early voting is just absurd.
Okay. Well, today is Columbus Day, supposedly the first time that a European discovered America, which we all know that that probably is not the truth. It was probably the Vikings a lot earlier up there toward the northern part of the United States and Canada. But it's the one that was really recorded, and he's credited for that. Columbus Day is a U.S. holiday that commemorates the landing of Christopher Columbus in the New World on October 12th, 1492. So, long time ago.
That's what I was taught years ago in history.
In 1492, Columbus
sailed the ocean
blue.
And you tell me that's not correct?
It is correct. Yeah, 1492. But he discovered America, but he wasn't the very first European. They found evidence up there in Newfoundland and up there toward the top part of Maine, all that of artifacts that look like from the Vikings. But there was, it wasn't settled. It wasn't. You didn't have follow-up expeditions there to just, to basically try to put a foothold in the new country. So his discovery was the one that really started the Europeans coming over to America. And a lot of controversy about Columbus. He took a lot of the natives that were on those islands down there in the Caribbean as slaves, and there's a lot of things that there's controversy there. But you still can't overlook the fact that he was able to talk. An Italian was able to talk Spain into giving him the money and ships to come over here to find a quicker route to the east. And he thought he was like, in the Far East somewhere. He had no idea where he was at and couldn't find gold or anything like that. And next thing you know, he said, "Oh, well, we found a whole new continent here. It's not the Far East." So that's what he was trying to do, to find a quicker route to the Far East. Because before then, you had to go down all the way down below Africa and then around up toward India and over that way. So he was just trying to find a quicker route. Didn't work out, but he started everything coming over to America. All the Europeans coming over. Can you name the 3 ships that he came over on, Bob?
Of course, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
Way to go, Bob. You remember your American history from high school.
Columbus, we got a holiday in his honor.
Yeah.
Why are they trying to change history? I don't understand it.
Well, I don't know if change history per se, but,
it's a great story.
It is a great story. He
discovered America.
He discovered America. He got things started with the Europeans moving over here and all that. And so, and it was because of it. What do we always talk about? It's always about the money. And so he was coming over here to try to find a quicker trade route to the east so he could cash in on some of those trading routes. But he found something he didn't know he was going to find, which is a whole new continent. Was that you?
That's me.
That's you? That's you, Bob? Okay. Well, so Columbus Day today, you got the schools are off, a lot of banks are closed, government offices are closed. Okay, what do we got here, Bob? Who's texted you something? If you do want to send in a comment or a question to us here on the Butch and Bob Show, all you got to do is text us at 912-427-3711, 912-427-3711.
Somebody just sent me, said this show is top 10 material.
You're right. The first Columbus Day celebration took place in New York City in 1792, Bob. Let's see if there's anything else I want to about. Okay. In 1937, Franklin D. Roosevelt proclaimed Columbus Day a national holiday, largely a result of the intense lobbying by the Knights of Columbus, which you're very familiar with, being in the Catholic Church, an influential Catholic fraternal benefits organization. Originally observed every October 12th, it was fixed on the second Monday in October in 1971. So in 1971, under the Nixon administration, it was fixed on the second Monday. Actually, October 12th is the date, which is today. It just happened to fall on that day. But you know how we in our country loves these 3 day holidays, 3 weekend. We get a weekend and a holiday. We love these 3 days off. So.
I know a lot of people enjoy their holiday, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, schools are out. Most of the banks are closed. Government offices are closed. So people have a 3 day holiday. A lot of folks enjoy that.
Mark Rick needs a holiday, but he probably doesn't get one today.
No, he's going to get one. He's got a game coming up this Saturday, Bob. There, he's going to have to. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something there in Athens. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to do something.
Those press conferences are going to be very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be that one jerk to say, "Oh, do you think you're on the hot seat? You're going to be fired." You know, and all that.
Yeah, you win a big game, they love you. You lose a big game, they want to get you rid of you.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh well, that's just the way. That's the name of the game in sports. Now, what's going on with the?
They're making $6 million a year, so they should be pretty happy.
Yeah. What's going on with the baseball playoffs?
I wish I could find them on TV. Is what
They got to be there somewhere, Bob.
I keep looking. I don't know where they're at. They got them hidden from me. I finally found one on channel 219 or 221 on my DirecTV, but I can't find these games. I thought.
Oh, they got to be there somewhere, Bob.
I can't find them. Like I said, I got to see part of the game last night. Toronto saved themselves from elimination against. I don't even know who they're playing. Houston, I think.
Yeah. The baseball playoffs, they're not as big as they were years and years ago as the sport of football's gotten bigger and bigger.
St. Louis are tied 1-1. They play tonight. I know that.
Chicago and St. Louis play tonight, tied 1-1. Okay.
I have no idea what station they're on, so if somebody knows, please tell me.
I
can't find
you. Bob, the internet is your friend, okay?
The Dodgers and the Mets, I'm not sure where that series is at. I know the Mets won the first game, but I don't know who won the second game. And I said Toronto saved themselves from eliminating. Yeah, Texas and Toronto, that's a 2-1 series. Texas leads Toronto 2-1. And Houston and Kansas City, Houston leads that 2-1. So,
okay.
The Cubbies, everybody's pulling for the Cubs. They want to see Chicago win the World Series.
Okay. Wouldn't that be something if the Cubbies won the World Series?
Well, my question is, I want to know if the Cubs win the World Series, can Barkman move back to Chicago? That's what I want to know.
Did he get an invitation to come to it?
He's been in hiding.
I don't believe it.
They did a documentary on him. They found him somewhere. The man's been in hiding ever since. He doesn't live in Chicago. I'm not sure where he lives. They didn't say where he lives, but the guy's life was just totally ruined after that incident. Mm-hmm. And they just totally destroyed the guy's life. So the guy's had to live in hiding.
Isn't that something?
And change his whole name and address and everything. I mean, it's like he had to go into witness protection program. It's really sad. I mean, it's just sad. It's just a sad story. But I just wonder if Chicago wins the World Series, will they just forget it and let him move back to Chicago?
I don't know, Bob.
So that's why I'm pulling for Chicago.
I don't know.
But that was a sad story.
Okay. All right.
Mark, man.
This looks like Kansas City and Houston today at 1. Is that right?
We're at what TV station?
Well, I guess it would be Kansas City. Let's see here. It don't say FS1, Fox Sports 1. Yeah, FS1. It is, Bob. So there you go.
I don't even know what. I think that's like 219, 221 on DirecTV. No, what happened to the good old days when it was NBC, CBS, and ABC?
Well, you didn't have 24-hour sports stations, and now they can keep the regular programming on that and put them on sports stations and sell both.
Divisional series.
Well, that'll happen as we get in the divisional series and in the World Series. They'll get on broadcast then. But for right now, it's on the sports channels. Well, Bob, we're about to run out of time. We have filled up 30 minutes. I don't know how we did, but we did. And so we'll be back tomorrow. We got a couple of guests coming tomorrow on the world famous Butch and Bob show. And all you dog fans out there, hopefully Saturday's going to be a brighter day. All right, Bob, have a good day. See you. All right, the world famous